Hey guys, it's Jackie back with another theory about the possible identity of Charles. Now, before I get into this theory, I just want to say that I now have 200 subscribers on YouTube. Yay! So exciting! It feels like I just hit 100, so it's crazy. I think I already have 200, and I just get so happy knowing that there's 200 people who want to watch my videos and, actually care about what I have to say. It's nice to know people actually enjoy this and I'm not just doing it for myself. So thank you guys so much. And I love you all. You all mean so much to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Now that my little happy moment is over, let's get on to this theory. Now, this theory, I think that Charles is not actually Charles, but that the anagram was actually for Rachel S., or possibly Rachel's possessive, so Rachel S. DiLaurentis or Rachel's DiLaurentis. And well, before I talk about that specifically, I want to talk about this video that Spencer finds in Charles's room in the dollhouse, who I think is on this video and what I think is going on. It's kind of hard to theorize because we don't really know what people's childhoods were like, so I'm kind of making a couple assumptions, and some of them might have a couple different possibilities, but yeah. And I should mention that, as most of my theories do, this goes back to my Bethany is A and Toby's twin theory. And if you haven't seen that by now, then, you should probably watch it, because I'm talking about this theory all the time. It's my favorite theory. I am basically trying to bring everything back to this theory if I can. Like, as long as there's a possible way I could be right, I'm sticking to that, because I love that theory. It's my favorite theory. Ride or die theory. Like, yeah. So, who do I think is on this video? Well, I think the woman on this video is clearly Jessica. I'm pretty sure it's safe to say Jessica does not have an identical twin, which is why I really think this is Jessica. I mean, it looks exactly like her, same actress. We can safely say that's Jessica. Now, there are two boys on this video. The taller one and the shorter one. The taller one is the one who we know is siblings with the baby girl, because that is the one whom Jessica says, "Come kiss your sister." Then the shorter boy, it doesn't really look like she's talking to him, but he does come and pat the baby on the head, so you don't know for sure that he's brothers with this baby. He may be, he may not be. I'm going on this that he is not siblings with the baby, but they are related. I think the taller boy is Jason. The baby girl is his sister Allison, and then the shorter boy is Toby. And then, who is the person who is filming this video? I think that is either Marion or Daniel, and if you don't know, Daniel is the name of Toby's dad, who we have yet to meet, but he is probably involved somehow, because if I'm right and Toby and Bethany are twins, that means that Daniel and Jessica were having an affair. And now, to clarify, I don't really think the boys in this video looked like they were 7 and 2, which is the ages they would be if they are actually Jason and Toby. However, I think the boys look like they are 5, and there's really no one on the show who could fit that age. Because we know people who are Jason's age, about 24, and we know people who are about the girl's age who are in their late teens. And Toby is in the middle, he's 19, and the girls are about 17. And then, so there's really no one who is in the middle of the 24 and the 17, except for Toby. And so, unless that baby is Bethany, and yes, that baby could very well be Bethany. I'm not saying it's not. That's a possibility. I really think that baby is either Allison, possibly Bethany, maybe Spencer, but I'm pretty sure it's either Allison, possibly Bethany. But out of the other people in Jason's age range, I don't know who the other boy would be. I don't really think that's likely, unless, we find out that Ian was Bethany's brother, or Garrett was Bethany's brother, or something like that, but I think that's very, very slim chance. So I feel like this is more likely than the alternatives. So while I would not peg these boys for being those ages, it's possible, and I'm just going to go with it for the sake of this theory. So, yeah, that's what I'm going with. And now, we did see in season 4 that Toby was a blonde baby, because there's a picture of Marion and then a picture of a baby next to it. And the baby is blonde with bright blue eyes, so it's probably Toby, or maybe his sister. He does have a sister. But it's a safe assumption that Toby was a blonde baby. Now there are baby pics of Keegan Allen on the internet. I think like his mom posted them on Instagram or something. And I've seen them, and he was blonde as a baby, and he was very cute. Those big bright blue eyes that he still has, very cute. So Toby was probably a blonde baby, and the little boy is blonde. And it's not uncommon for you to have blonde hair as a child, and it gets a little darker as you age. Because, I mean, Toby's hair is it's not like dark, but it's not blonde. I don't know exactly what color you call it. Maybe like a sandy blonde, like a dirty blonde. I don't know. Whatever. You guys have seen his hair. You know what I'm talking about. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Alright, and I'm inclined to think that the person filming is Marion or Daniel, because we see the smaller boy give an apple to the person and smiling at them, but we don't see the taller boy. So I feel like there's a relationship that exists between the smaller boy and the person filming, and I feel like the smaller boy obviously is like comfortable with this person who's filming, and you know, they like smile at them and they look like they have a good relationship going on, and Jessica smiles at this person too. Now, Peter Hastings did say that the DiLaurentis moved away, and they did not come back to Rosewood until Spencer was 5, which means at that time they came back, Jason was about 12 years old. That means there's 12 years where they were not in Rosewood, and we don't know exactly where they were, I think. I don't think it ever said where they moved to in that interim. So that raises the question, why were they at the Campbell farm near Rosewood? Why go all that way to get some apples? Now, there's a couple possibilities, really depending on who was the one filming. They could have been visiting Jessica's sister, Marion. And, you know, this 12-year absence could explain why people wouldn't know Jessica and Marion were sisters. Because maybe by the time Jessica moved back, her and Marion were estranged. They weren't telling people they were related. And I believe it said in Marion's obituary she went to Rosewood High, but we don't know where Jessica went. She could have gone to a different school, like a private school or a boarding school, or maybe her and Marion are half-sisters. So they were raised different in different places, and then they met each other later, and maybe they formed a rivalry. That's a possibility. And, you know, like I said, we don't know a lot about their pasts, which is why it's kind of hard to be exactly sure. But just some possibilities of why they could be related, but no one would know. Or a select few of people would know, not, like, everybody. And another possibility is that Jessica was having a rendezvous with Daniel, because we know Jessica was sleeping with Bethany's dad. Because Jessica was sleeping with a lot of people, apparently. She had a lot of affairs. So either of those things are plausible. Again, depends on who you think was filming the video, Marion or Daniel. Now, I think that Bethany was possibly just given up for adoption, or not too long ago when this video was made. Probably her and Marion were not totally on bad terms by this point. Or, you know, maybe they were, and that's why she had to sneak around with Daniel even more. Who really knows? Again, there's different possibilities because we don't know exactly the timeline of when this all could have happened. Exactly. And so, I think, like I said before, I think Jessica is the one who convinced Daniel that they had to get rid of Bethany and send her away. And because, you know, Bethany was showing mental illness, so she convinced Daniel either, you know, he couldn't take care of this child, or that it would make the family look bad, or something like that. We know Bethany said about someone who could very likely be Jessica, that a couple minutes alone with her and you'll drown a bag of kittens if she asked, 2 minutes if you're a man. So Jessica could have been this person that Bethany was talking about. And if Bethany knew that Jessica convinced her dad to get rid of her, that would make her think that, definitely. And I also think, though, that, at least at first, Jessica made Marion and or Daniel think that she actually cared about Bethany. Like, maybe with the yellow dresses, one of them was meant for Bethany to make them think, you know, oh, I care. But she really didn't. And I feel like Marion probably realized this first, and that's why they didn't like each other anymore. And maybe Daniel refused to believe it and he carried on the affair, and that's when the yellow dresses thing happened, because I'm not sure exactly how old Allison was in that flashback, but I feel like they were already back in Rosewood by that point. So maybe by that point, Marion and Jessica already were estranged, but her and Daniel still had a thing, because Daniel still thought that they had a good relationship, that Jessica cared about Bethany, and, he was in love with her. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense right now? If I'm not, just tell me your questions in the comments. I'll try to explain it more coherently. Sorry. Alright, so you get what I'm saying? I'm gonna move on. Now, why don't Toby and Jason remember this? Why do they not remember going to the farm together? Why do they not remember being related? Etc. Because if this is the case, then they would be cousins, or half cousins, depending if Mary and Jessica are full sisters or half sisters. Now I actually think half sisters would make more sense. But, whatever. And so, Toby would only be about 2 when this video was shot. And early memories from childhood are often forgotten. Even events that could be perceived as traumatic, like, losing your sister. Like, there are kids who are sexually abused as children, and then they grow up and they don't remember. They repress those memories. Now, I think it's just natural for you not to remember things that happened before the age of 3 or 4, due to the fact that, as a child, when you're 1 or 2, your brain is not fully developed, so it's harder for you to remember those memories. I know I'm 16, and I don't remember things that happened before I was, 5. And honestly, some of the things that happened when I was 5, I'm pretty sure I only remember them because people have told me the story so many times. I have no idea what I was doing when I was 2. Do you? I don't know what I was doing when I was 2. I remember nothing from that time in my life. And so, apparently, even traumatic memories of childhood, you can forget them. You don't, remember those things. And you can repress memories that people do that, if it's too much for them to handle. Now, Jason could have been brainwashed by Jessica into forgetting. As crazy as that sounds, we know, again from the yellow dresses, that Jessica has convinced her children that things that happened did not happen. She got Allison to repeat, "I only saw one dress," so much that she actually believed it. When that happened, when Mona showed Allison that, Allison didn't remember. So, I feel like maybe Jessica could have said to Jason, "You don't have any cousins, and eventually he started to believe her, and he just wiped those memories from his mind, or buried them, something like that. Ooh, I just thought of something. We know from Instagram that Dr. Sullivan is probably making a return, so maybe that could have to do with the storyline about repressed childhood memories. Because if you go into therapy, they can help you regain those memories, or if you see something that triggers the memories, they can come back. So there you go. Maybe that helps support that theory. Now, to the actual part about Charles. I think Charles is not Charles at all, but actually Rachel S. DiLaurentis or Rachel DiLaurentis. That's the anagram. I feel like Bethany could have been born with the name Rachel Cavanaugh. And just because the anagram says DiLaurentis doesn't mean the person's last name is DiLaurentis. It just means they have a relation to the DiLaurentises. Or if it actually says Rachel's possessive, maybe that means she is possessive of a DiLaurentis. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Charles does not stand for Charles. The answer to the anagram is not Charles at all. It's Rachel S. or Rachel's. And I feel like Rachel could be Bethany's real name, because I've said before, I think Bethany was a name that was given to her when she was adopted, and I feel like the significance of the name Bethany is to the biblical story. Again, all of my Bethany is a video. I covered that there. And I guess while I'm on the subject, we should talk about Andrew for a second, because it does take place at the Campbell farm, this video. Now, I don't think Andrew is big A or uber A, but he could have something to do with it. He could play a minor role. Perhaps he pieced this whole DiLaurentis Cavanaugh connection together because he's connected to the farm and they met at the farm or whatever. And or Bethany, having this video, found Andrew via the farm and she recruited him to join her team however she did it. That could be a possibility. Both those things could be true. I also considered before that Andrew was Mona's minion, and perhaps he's working for Mona, and while he was looking into stuff for Mona, he found out about the DiLaurentis Cavanaugh thing. And I also feel like the Hastings are probably intertwined here somehow. I don't know exactly how, but I feel like there's more to Peter and Jessica's history than we know. because Peter does say to Jessica, like, we still have a deal, or we're still on an understanding, or whatever it was he said. So I feel like the two of them share some kind of further secret, or maybe he helped cover up Marion's murder, or maybe he helped get rid of Bethany, something like that. I feel like those three families are more connected than we know. I feel like, yeah. So I don't know exactly how the Hastings play into it, but I feel like they do somehow. Alright, so that is another theory on who Charles could be. Now, I know that we did see a man in the dollhouse or someone dressed like a man, but I feel like it still could be Bethany dressed up like a man in that suit. I actually kind of feel like it does look like a woman with like extra padding almost. And so yeah, I feel like Charles is actually not Charles at all, but Rachel asked her Rachel's. And I think that perhaps the people on the video could be Jessica, Jason, Toby, Allison. The person filming is either Marion or Daniel. That's just another theory. I feel like this is more plausible than my Ren one, just because Ren is so rarely on the show, though he is totally sketchy, so who really knows. And I might do a third Charles theory pertaining to Bethany having a multiple personality disorder and Charles is her split personality. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I haven't researched it yet, so maybe it won't even make sense when I research it, but that might be another video I make. So, tell me what you guys think about this. Give me your thoughts. Feel free to like, favorite, subscribe, do your thing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, thank you for the 200 subscribers. Yay! Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye!